I just going to get sorted. Just give it until 12 o'clock. So we've got a couple of minutes to sort yourselves out. All right, so we're just going to wait until 12 o'clock. So you've got 4 minutes. If you need to grab a drink, go to the toilet, sort your family out. Yeah, got a couple of minutes to just do you, whatever you need. If you do have a spare device around, definitely grab that as well, because we'll be using that for this session too. Cool. It's a nice day. I'm not sure where you guys are, but it's a nice day today. I'm in Taumarunui. I'll unmute you all. How are we? You guys all right?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, whereabouts are you guys all?
I'm in Wanganui.
Oh, yeah, cool.
I'm in Maitland.
Oh, yeah, awesome. Cool. It's always a little bit like awkward that those like first 5 minutes where I sit here in silence and just like talk to the screen, so I may as well talk to you guys. So I've got 3 minutes. We'll just wait for anybody else. We'll start at 12. So if you need to zip off or whatever, you go do you. And I'll put a link to the slides in the chat. So if you want to use them, you can. They're on the screen. Otherwise, I'll put it in here. There you go. Cool. So yeah, we're just gonna wait a couple more minutes. Has anyone got any pre-starting questions that are burning? All right. Cool. So I'm not sure if you came to my first one, the introduction Seesaw one, but it's always good to have another device around, as when we have our play time, it's easier to play on 2 different devices, so you can listen and play. But if you don't, that is all good. You can just listen and follow on later, or do whatever works for you. I can't get that link to work. Oh. Did I not type it in properly? No, I did. Seesaw online too. Let me just see if it will work. Yeah, maybe you just typed it in wrong. I know sometimes if you type in the bit.ly part wrong, it will take you to nowhere. So it's bit.ly/Seesaw online too. And it should take you to my slides, hopefully.
Yeah.
Cool, so we'll start in a minute. I had to put a password on it because of all of the issues that people have had about people like Zoom bombing and putting like really inappropriate stuff up on people's screens and stuff. So that's why I had to put a password on. So now heaps of people are messaging me saying they can't get on because they need a password. Good times. All right. Just wait for the last couple of friends and then we will start. Cool. All right, I'm going to mute you all now. Cool. Okay, so hello, thank you for coming. My name's Jordan. If you haven't attended one of these sessions before, these are designed to help show aspects of Seesaw with hands-on activities. So you'll have a little bit of a play during the session, and then there'll also be time where I will model how to make a Seesaw activity using templates and how to share that on Seesaw. Cool. So the link is there if you would like the link. It's bit.ly/Seesaw online 2. And for this session, you will be muted. So if you do have a burning desire question, pop it in the chat and I can answer it as we go. And then at the end, there will also be a question time too. Cool. Yes, it is being recorded as well. So if you need to leave for whatever reason, the recording will be on my YouTube channel if you need to come back and have a look at that. Cool. All right, so we're going to very quickly at the beginning look at Seesaw. I will show you around the Seesaw activity library if you haven't already seen it, and then I will model how to create a Seesaw activity and give you a few resources that might help you as well. So what is Seesaw? We know that it is an amazing student learning portfolio system online, whatever you would like to call it. It's great for empowering students to create learning and add work to their journal. It's got several tools inbuilt into it, which makes it seamless for little kids. No more having to leave an app and come back into it. It's all inbuilt in there. It's really great to document growth over the year, and it is easy for teachers, students, and parents to access, which is fantastic. Just going to paste that. The great thing about Seesaw is it supports multiple platforms. So whether you've got different devices at home, Apple, Android, Chromebook, computers, or Kindle, you can access the same information, which is super awesome. If you've got iPads in class, but your parents might have Android, they can still access the same thing, which is great. Why is Seesaw so amazing? There are lots of reasons why. First one is that it's free. It gives all students voice, makes their thinking visible, provides ownership, builds reflection, supports creation. It helps build strong communication between home and school. It has authentic audiences, so they're making it for a reason, they're sharing their learning with a purpose, and you can provide feedback and things, which is great. Building a strong communication between home and school is so important right now, and I think more schools are going to be using platforms like Seesaw because of how easy it is and that it's free, and it allows you and home and students to complete the work. Cool. So just a few ways that I have started using Seesaw for home learning. So obviously we've been in lockdown for a week and a half, I think. The end of the last week of term, I had 2 days with them, with my students, and we sort of had a play on it with a few things. The first thing you can do is take photos of what they're doing at home. So one of my students was making muffins, and she shared some photos with me. The next one is sharing explanations. So one of my kids, he was using the voice recorder to tell me what he was up to and share what he'd been doing at home. You can send messages, communication to students and family members, which is great. And then the last one, which is what we're going to focus on today, is activities. And you can assign them activities, so like work for them to do at home, which is awesome. That's just what I've got so far. Okay, some examples of what I have already done. So these are some example activities that I have used before. So activities vary in terms of very simple or highly complicated and looking pretty. This one's a more simple, just a response to a book. These ones are all templates which I have created. And then another activity is a really simple one, like writing a letter. And I'm going to show you how to make ones like these very soon. Didn't want to do that. Let's go next. Here we go. You can create announcements to communicate with parents. Let me just add this person. Admit. There we go. You can create reading activities. So if you're looking to do follow-ups for guided reading at home, you could set an activity. We've got some really simple reading pages of the book, responses to words, letters, and pictures. Same for maths. And the same for writing. So you could have students complete aspects of writing, take photos of the writing that they're doing at home, share word-based activities, and even do some publishing. And just general photos of things that you've got going on. Cool. Okay, so this is the fun part. This is always where you get to explore like you would as a student. So if you've got a spare device, grab it. You need to log out from where you are. So I will just show you how to log out very quickly. So here's your account. You're going to come up here to your name, and then you're going to click this little wheel here and go sign out. Okay, then once you've signed out, you're going to tap I'm a student and scan that QR code there, or you can use the text code, and the text code is GWAKRJ. So I'll give you a couple of moments to log in. If you've got any issues, please pop me a message on the chat. We're going to use the chat to communicate with each other if we need it. And log in to this session. So scan the QR code or log in with the text code, which is GWAKRJ. Okay, I'll give you a couple of seconds to do that. And when you have logged in, it should take you to a beautiful picture of me and my face. That's how you know you're in the right spot. I'll give you a couple of moments. Cool. All right, so I'll pop the text code in the chat if you need that, or if you log in late and then can't find the way to get on. There you go. Cool. Okay, so when you log in, you would have a home screen. This is my home screen as a teacher. Over here, it's got your teacher classes, so you might have more than one classroom. All of the learning comes here in the middle. Down the right, you have students' names. Up the top here, you've got the journal, activities, inbox, and skills. And up the top here is the little wrench. That's where you find your settings. And this big green plus here is where you go to add your work. For my students, I tell them it's the magic plus because it's where they want to go to start their learning. Cool, so here are the tools that you've got built into Seesaw. We've got a camera, drawing, video, link, note, and the upload tool. And with the upload tool, you can upload things from your device, like a photo or a video, or you can even upload files from Google Drive, Dropbox, Google Slides, anything like that. So for the purpose of the session, we're just going to look solely at activities. And so the activities part is basically an online Seesaw platform place full of activities like responses, follow-ups, word work, maths work, things like that to complete. And you can assign them for work. You could just have it as like a check-in activity and things like that. And to find it, you want to click on the light bulb. That's where you go to find an activity, is the light bulb. And we'll come back to this. I'm going to come back to that slide in a second. So can you tap on your light bulb? And on your screen, you'll see some activities already there. There'll be a selfie one, a maths one, a word of the week, another maths one, a fluency one, and writing a letter. Choose one of those that you'd like to do. Okay, your work's not going to be marked, it's just to have a play. Follow the instructions and have a play with one of the activities. You could do them all, you could just do one, you could even just have a look at them. Okay, so I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to do that, to have a play. And while you're doing that, I'll talk through the activities and the purpose behind them, and basically we'll show you how to create them further along. Okay, so let's go. We've got our activities over here. which is your light bulb. So select one that you would like to do. Taking a selfie, really simple activity there that you can use. When you take a selfie, you turn the camera outwards, but you could have it for any type of documenting with a camera to basically just take photos of anything they would like to do. I'm going to tell you all of, how do you find emojis? Are you on a iPad or on a computer? Because there'll be two different instructions. Computer. Oh, tricky. Okay, I will show you how to find how to do emojis on a computer. Let's do this one. Okay. To do emojis on a computer, you want to click your text label here. You see where it's selected? Then up on my browser, up the very top, you're going to click Edit, Emojis and Symbols. And then it will bring up your emojis and you can insert them into the text box. And now it's not going to work. Let's try this again. Let's do this one. There you go. So you click on your T for text box, which is a label. Then you go up the top onto your top browser and you push Edit, Emoji and Symbols, and then you can choose which one you would like. On an iPad, you would have your screen open at the bottom. Then there's down in the bottom left corner, you tap it where there's like a smiley face, and then it will bring up all of your emojis as well down the bottom. Let me just go back. So keep having a play, have a play, use the different activities just like your kids would. We've got here a maths counting back one, really great for drawing or documenting their responses with their finger. We've got writing a letter, fluency, which is great for reading. I know that there is a lot of people stressing about guided reading and fluency and things. This could be another way of helping do that. We've got a practice writing your numbers, then we've got a word of the week. Okay, so I'll give you another couple of minutes just to have a play. Even if you just muck around doing it, just explore the activity so that if you were to create one for your kids, you'd be able to help them if you've got any help issues that they might bring up. So we'll go another minute. If you need any questions or any help, pop it on the chat and I can help you there. And then I'll show you the great part about the activities. Cool. All right. Let's just put a halt on that. So if you're finishing an activity, just you can either delete it or push the green tick to add it to your journal. Now, the great thing about activities, if you're looking back at my screen now, is that once you've done your response, it will seem like it's disappeared. It hasn't. What it's doing is it's sitting there in this seesaw cloud until the teacher approves it. So right now it's telling me, it's saying there are 4 responses waiting for a teacher approval. So I've had 4 students take a selfie and I need to check their work. So I'm going to click on this gray box here, and then it's going to show me a really quick preview of the people's work and tell me who has done it and who has not. So all of these grey boxes are people that have not yet done the work, students that have not yet completed it, and student E, student K, and student M have got work. So I now need to review that because all of the work gets reviewed before uploading. So I would have a look. Yep, that looks like a really great selfie of a pig. And down the bottom there, I've got 3 options. I can approve it. I can send it back to the student to complete it. For example, if they had missed something or they completely just did the wrong thing, or I can delete it if it was not at all what it was meant to be. I can click approve and all of a sudden that one there will now be live. So the kids get quite obsessed with the fact, oh my gosh, my work's disappeared, it's not there, what do I do? It hasn't. It's sitting there waiting for the teacher to approve it. So now it's telling me I've got some there, I've got some there to approve, I've got some down the bottom here to approve as well. I'm going to see if I can approve them all in one go because I trust what you guys have done because you guys are all amazing educators. So here we go, someone's done their recording. we've got down here. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I'm just going to click approve all. And now all of your work has been approved. And if I go back to the journal, it is live now for students to see. Okay, so now it's all there. So your work didn't disappear. It was waiting for me to approve it. Cool. Any questions about that first part? When you are in the activity, can you get back to the instructions without ticking it or trashing it? Yes. Up the top on your activity, if you just touch the top part, it will bring the instructions back down. Let's see if I can show you how to do that as well. Give me 1 second, because I'm on a laptop and I know that on a iPad it's very easy to bring the instructions. Oh, here you go, up here where it says view instructions. So say I'm going to draw, for example, and I forget what I'm doing, I can click view instructions and it will actually bring the instructions back down again. Okay, really handy for students of all ages to remember what they're doing. Cool. Okay, lovely. That was fun. I enjoy doing that. I've told you a little bit about keeping track. The activities is really great to see who has done it and who has not done it. And you could touch base with those students that might not have completed it yet. Okay, so I'm going to take you now live to the Seesaw Activity Library and show you all around it. And if you don't want to follow the slides, I'm going to show you on my screen, okay? The same thing is on the slide deck. So we're going to browse the activity library. Here we go, it's bringing it up. Cool, this is what it looks like. So over here, we've got the grades. Seesaw works on American grade system, so you just got to sort of find which one would relate for your classroom. You've got subject areas here. You can search by a learning intention or a WALT or an idea. It's got popular ones that are here for you to enjoy, you to use. These are ones that are popular in your grade at this time, ones that other teachers have liked or used a lot. And down the bottom, we've got some featured authors. So they are Seesaw ambassadors that have got popular activities at the moment. Up the top here, you've also got My Library. So that's where you will go for your own activities that you save or create. And then on the far right is a picture of you in particular and your, I guess, database in there. So let's just show you how to search for one. So say, for example, I want to search for a word of the week activity. So I'm just going to type in word of the week. It's going to bring up a whole lot of ones that match that description, and basically you just need to look through and find one that is suitable for you. Now you can change their templates and their activities, so if you were to find one and you wanted to change it slightly, you can do that. So for example, oh look, there's some of my ones. It says Mrs. Presley. Let's say, for example, I really like this one here, word sort. Let's just click on that and have a look. So yes, beautiful, just what I wanted. We were doing word families. I think this one is great. Now you can heart it and then it will save it in your My Library. Okay, so it's sort of like a save link, saving it to a special spot. Now to put that in the classroom, I'm going to click on the green button that says assign. Then you're going to choose your classroom that you would like it to go to. So for you guys are in this practice class online. And I'm going to click assign to the class. And there we go. It is now assigned to the classroom. So if I just go back to the light bulb, it is now there. So now you guys could complete that if that was going to be your activity for the week. Okay. You could add a response. You can change the activity slightly if you wanted to, but it is now there live. Let's go back to the library. When you save it into My Library, can you keep them in folders so they are sorted by subject? Yes and no. So I'll show you what I mean. In your library, so this is My Library, these are all the activities that I have saved, created, used, shared, things like that. down the bottom here, you can create what's called a collection, and your collection would be like your folders. The only downside with that is you can only make 2. You can't make more than 2. So yes, you could to store it, but I've only got 2. I've got one-off ideas and templates because you can't make any more collections on the free version. But on the Seesaw for Schools version, you can make more collections than 2, I am pretty sure. Can you search for NZ teachers' work? If you know the teacher's name, yes, you can search. So you could search me, and it should bring up, populate. Oh wait, hold on, let me do it in the right place. Let me just try it here. Here's my name. It should bring up people's names. Yeah, there you go. So there it's got Mrs. Presley, Mrs. Presley, Mrs. Presley, Mrs. Presley. So yeah, if you know the person's name on Facebook, on Seesaw, you can search for their activities to use. Yeah, cool. Another thing when you are assigning an activity is you can assign it to individual students or groups of students. So let's say I would like to do some addition sums. Yep, choice, that one looks fantastic. I'm going to assign it. Now I'm going to select the class, but this time I only want a particular group of students to do it. I don't want my whole class to do it. Say, for example, it's targeting your maths group. You can choose and you just select the students that you would like to do it. So there you go. I've selected 4. Then I'm going to green tick it. Yep. And now it says 4 students. Assign that. Now let me just go back to the class because I always go back to check it's there just in case it's not or I've done the wrong step. And then underneath in that gray part, it will only show you the 4 students' names, which is awesome. So you could have that as a small group activity. Students that might be learning something that the other kids aren't. Great way of doing it like that. Any questions about those 2 things that I've shown you? So you can search, you can assign it to your class, or you can save it to your library. And when you save it to your library, it doesn't disappear. It's like storing it for later. So if I come in here, that same one is still there. Okay, cool. Any questions? Nope. Lovely. All of that information is on the slide deck too. So if you forget and you're like, oh my gosh, where do I go to find this? I can go back to the slides to have a look. We have a question. If you assign a task to a small group, can they work on it together? No. So if they were in class, in the classroom next to each other, yes, but right now being at home in different houses, no, they can't. So they would have to complete their own version of the activity together. There's no collaborative feature or a live stream work together feature yet. Yeah, sorry. So no, they can't. Cool. Okay. I'm going to show you how to create your own activities now. And so this session is a repeat of a session that I ran last week, and people were just like, oh my gosh, this is just so much information. So listen, observe, come back to the slide deck later if you need to, or ask questions at the end, okay? Because it's going to be like a whole lot of brain overload if you've never made one before. So when you make activities, oh, hold on, there's a question. Where is the slide deck to refer back to? I will copy it again for you. There we go. Cool, Larissa, I'll come back to your question. Is that cool? Yeah, I'll come back to your question because I can show you that in the next part. When you create an activity, it can be as easy or as fancy as you want it. An easy activity is really simple to set up. It's got a title, you'd have your instructions, and you might have a template for them to work on. This one here is just got 3 words, beginning, middle, end. Very simple. It's the same thing as this template, just not as fancy. This one here is more time to set up. It's got these cute little picture icons here that I am going to show you how to insert. And this one has a template made from a Google slide. a Google Slide template, which is like the background. So if you click on this orange box down here, it will actually give you some of my templates for you to have copies of forever. So when you click on that link there, it's going to bring up this, which is a slide deck of templates that you can use as backgrounds for your activity. Okay, these are pre-made ones that I've made already. And I'm going to show you how to use one of them in an activity. So, for example, let's do a really simple activity like this. Right, cool. I really like at home, my kids have been learning about insects. I want them to tell me something that they know or wonder or have learned about the insect, okay? So I've got my template. Now, first of all, I'm going to head back to Seesaw, okay? And I'm going to create a new activity because I don't want one that I've had before. I'm going to make a new one. So I'm going to create the new activity here, and it's going to bring me to the activity template. Here we go. So I'm going to give it a title. So insect KWL. Cool. Now, this is where you're going to type your instructions. So tap the add button and choose your name. Tap the drawing or label tool to add your work. The record tool to talk about your learning. Tap the check button to add it to your journal. Now, right now, you're probably wondering, why are these words in between these little colons here? That is how you get the fancy icons. Now, there is a poster shortcut here, ta-da, for you. So to get the little pictures, you simply write the text shortcut next to it in the instructions, and it will magically appear for you on your screen. So I use drawing, it's the colon, then the word drawing, then you've got to have the colon on the end. I use the check one, I used label, microphone, and I think I used the add one, okay? So right now, it won't show the little icons, it will show you it on the next part. Cool, okay, so I'm going to add my template now. So now I want students to, for the work to be done on, I want to show them the template. So I'm going to come back over to here. Now, when you use a template, it must be in a JPEG or a PNG file. You cannot edit or draw on a PDF. It just doesn't work. It doesn't collaborate properly with Seesaw. You won't be able to do it. So you're going to click on File, Download as either JPEG or PNG. It does not matter. They both mean the same thing. Either or is fine. I'm going to click on JPEG, and it's going to download that at the bottom of my screen. Choice. Cool. I'm going to head back now to Seesaw, and where it says Add Template for Students, I'm going to upload it because I'm uploading the template. Drag that in. Beautiful. Cool. So here's my template. Looks beautiful. Now, sometimes the templates are extra big and it pops in the way of the tools. You see how those sort of stick out a little bit and down the bottom? You can make your template smaller so that it doesn't get in the way. And to do that, you click on this little hand here, and then these three dots are going to appear. You're going to unlock your picture, and you're just going to move it in smaller. So it kind of gives them more working space around the outside. Then make sure you lock it back in place, otherwise the kids can move it. So now I can't move it anywhere. Cool. Okay, so let's tick that, and then it's going to show my template at the bottom. Ta-da! Oh, got super excited prematurely. There you go. Beautiful. Now, usually for my students, I always include an example as well. So what do I want my learning to look like basically at the end? So up here, you're going to click on Add Your Example. So we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to upload my template. But now I'm actually going to show them an idea. So I'm going to put, say for example, my insect is the ant. What do I know about an insect? An ant. It's tiny. It's black. What do I wonder? How long do they live for? Cool. Okay. Choice. Say for example, that is everything. I have done my whole work. That looks fantastic just for the sake of time. I'm going to green tick that. Now I'm going to review my whole activity because this is the end part. This is the check. I've got a title, got my instructions, I've got my example, I then have my template. Cool. I'm going to click on save, and it's now going to create my activity and show me a preview of it. Ha! Look, and there are those fancy little icons that I was showing you about. Cool. Now, it's not going to go anywhere for the moment. It's going to sit there until I assign that to my classroom. So now I want you guys to do that, or my students or whoever. So I'm going to follow the same process. I'm going to click on assign, choose the classroom, and I want everyone to do it now. And I'm going to click assign to the class. Let me just go back and check that it is there. There we go. Voila. Lots to take in. Are there any questions about what I just showed you about making an activity? So on those slides that I have shared with you, that is there to help you. That's the Seesaw icon help sheet. It has recently been updated to include one new thing, I think, but the rest of them are all the same and they never change. Do the activities group in the stream and maybe subjects, or do they just come out one after the other? They always come out one after the other in order that you added them. So because this one I just added, it appears here and then it sort of goes back in like the order of I added them. So this one was the one that I added first. Yeah. So it doesn't group them in subjects, it just groups them in time order. Cool. I'm just going to head back to this one here. Just some helpful note points when making an activity. Your templates have to be in the JPEG or the PNG file, like I'd previously said. It's always good to add an example so your kids can see what it is that you're expecting of them. And you can assign activities to small groups, individuals, or whole class. Cool. Okay. No other questions. That is awesome. So I've showed you that. Now, this extra part of blind knowingness is so last year, I presented this at ULearn and I created basically a how to create online tutorial slide deck, basically. It's full of me recording myself, making videos to show you how to make particular types of videos. Of activities. So if you click on here, on this access the tutorial slides, it's going to bring up a whole nother new slide deck. Oh, no, it's not. Yes, it is. Oh, I can't get to it. This one here. And in this slide deck, it's got a link to an activity and the video of me showing you how to make that same activity. So if you wanted to make one of a child reading a story, this video shows you how to do it. And it shows you how to create each type of activity and the templates that you would need. Okay, so it's sort of like my first gift to you as such. If you go away from here and you think, oh, that activity is really cool, how do I do that? There is this online tutorial here to help you. And there is 20 different activities and 20 different videos that you can follow and watch to create the same thing or to create a similar thing. Cool? Now, my third, because that would be my second gift, my third gift to you is even more mind-blowing than that, is on this second slide here, there is this giant Seesaw library full of activities. There are more than 1,000 different templates for Seesaw that you can use. These are templates that I have made before in the past that I have gathered and used and continue to use for different curriculum areas, different activities, different things that you want to do that you can access for free. There is a giant library here, so that means they're all together. It can take a while to open the slideshow because there's more than 1,000 pages in it, or you can find them individually. So if I click on this here, I'm just going to give you a quick preview of them. And these are what you use as like the background for your activity on Seesaw. Seesaw slide templates. Let's just very quickly. So there's stuff to do with maths, Christmas maths, daily organizers and calendars, calendar maths, more maths, handwriting, a high frequency game, letter of the week juniors, make your own high frequency words, more maths, and it goes on. And the other one that was on here, this one here, is just them all together in a big giant slide deck, so you don't have to open each individual one. So for the sake of today, let me just show you what I mean. So practice your numbers 1 to 20. So you can open this and say, for example, you wanted your students to, say you were learning about the number 6. You'll go down the side when it opens. Of course, it's taking 100 years now that I'm like recording and talking to you guys. It's got some instructions here on how to download it. So if after this you're like, oh my gosh, what did she do? There's some instructions there, including an example of a finished product. So let's go down to number 6. Number 6. Cool. Here we go. Number 6, then you would do, first thing, like I said before, you would want to download that as your image. So you'd go File, Download as an image. And then you have that copy of that slide, okay? Lots of questions I can see. There's 5 questions. Oh no, it's all people saying thanks. Oh, you guys, oh, you're so kind. Yeah, so I've made these, like I said, from, this one was created in 2018, so years ago. These have just been sitting there. These have been available for anyone and everyone to use for free. I would love it if you didn't take my name off them though, because I have worked hard to create them. They all have my little name on them on there. And you are more than willing to use them as activities for your classroom. The link to that, let me just show you again, is on here or on there, okay? And you don't want to lose that because it will be there forever, and every time I make new activities I always store them there in that folder. Cool. I'm just going to jump back to Larissa's question now. Her question was, how do you edit a task that you've chosen from somebody else? So this one here was the one that I chose from somebody else. So this one isn't my activity. Underneath it, there are 3 dots here. If you just click on the 3 dots and then you click on edit, it will bring up the edit screen that you can then edit your work. So you could edit the template, you could edit the instructions, you can take off this lady's voice instructions and I could use my own voice. And that's how you can edit the instruction, the activity from the people. Cool. So when you're in the library, let me just go browse activity library. I'm just going to find the first activity that comes up when it does. Cool. Oh, look, a happy birthday card. Beautiful. I'm just going to click on that 3 dots so you can share it. Cool. So if I wanted to share you that one, but to edit it, you first have to put it in your library to be able to edit it directly, I'm pretty sure. Before you assign it, you have to library it. Let's see, is it going to let me edit it now? Ah, wrong part. Let's click on now I can edit it, copy and edit. So it's going to create your own copy of that activity for your library. And then if you decide you don't want it anymore, you can actually remove it from your library and it will take it away. Okay, and it won't, there you go, so now it's disappeared, because you can only have 100 activities in your library unless you're on Seesaw Plus or Seesaw for Schools, but on the free version you can only have 100 in your library here. Cool, hope that answered your questions, Larissa. Copyrights, do we have to be mindful of anything? Always. In terms of, if you are using somebody else's template and it's got their name on it, probably don't play with their template. Of course, you could edit your instructions and things like that, but if it's clearly got somebody else's name on it, don't claim it as your own activity. But all of the activities that are shared in the library are for you to use. They've been contributed from Seesaw ambassadors across the world, and they're there for a reason. They're there to be used. So definitely use them. I would just say that if you are looking to recreate to then claim as your own, that's probably where you'd have copyright issues there. Yeah, cool. Let me just go back. Kind of went on a little bit of a tangent there. That's cool. All right. Are there any questions about those activities, things that I showed you? Because I know that's a lot to take in, and you might be like, oh my gosh, what is she even talking about? There's a lot there. If you delete an activity from your library, it won't disappear from students' Seesaw pages, will it? It won't disappear their work. It won't make their work disappear. So let me show you. So I assigned that happy birthday card. See, and now it's not there. Cool. So when you delete an activity from your library, their work doesn't go, just the activity, like the placeholder for the activity. Yeah, their work stays there. Good question. Awesome. Okay, really quickly, wanted to tap into home learning codes. You might have seen these and think, oh yeah, I don't need them. What's the difference? Why do I use them? So basically, these allow your students to access their learning in the classroom from home. So currently, they would have access to family mode. When they have family mode, they don't have access to activities. That's only what their parents can see. If you send home this school code here, they will be able to access it from home like they do in the classroom. So usually in class, when they add work, it brings up everyone's names, right? Well, you don't want that from home. It's going to mess with the privacy. You might have kids adding work that isn't them, things like that. So these home learning codes are a great way for your one student to add work to their one journal from home. They are a student in the classroom, so they have to use the class app, and they can access activities, post work, message you like they would from school. If you have Google Sign In, so if your kids use Google Sign In, they don't need the home learning code because they can already log in with their Google. They can already do that. Here are some instructions on how to get the home learning codes. So if you have not got these, this is the instructions you can take to get them. I would strongly recommend using home learning codes, 100%. The student classroom code, the one that you use in class, will not get you the same thing. And also Seesaw has highly recommended not using them because of the privacy. Their big thing is all on privacy. And when you use those at home, you are giving them access to everybody else's journals. The home learning code is just for that one student to access from home, which is really great. This is some information on how you can download an individual home learning code. So when you download your home learning codes, back on this one here, it downloads them all in one big PDF. So if you've got 60 kids, it's going to download 60 kids PDF in one go, in one bulk. If you want them separate, you can download them separately for individual students for then emailing home. I had a teacher message me last week. She's got 90 kids in her classroom and she said, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to download and export this one PDF 90 times. And I said, no, you can just download them individually. So it's really good and really handy. Some more information. There is live Seesaw webinars all the time happening at the moment. They are unfortunately at 4 a.m. in the morning. If you feel like getting up early, you can go and watch those. Otherwise, I have got lots of stuff online available on my website, on Twitter, on Instagram, on my Facebook page. You can email me anytime, probably not 3 a.m. in the morning, but any other time, for your questions. Now, this is a question time. If you have got a burning desire question or something that you need to know, please pop it in the chat and I can answer those for you right now. First question: when a student has unfinished work, can they go back into it? Yes, they can now with the send back feature. So previously this feature was not available to people that use the free version, but they've changed it because they're being nice. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. So if, for example, my kid has not finished their work, but they've green ticked it anyways, it will come here, in here, and here we go. So it's got their work here, student A. Now it's going to bring back those 3 buttons: approve, send back, delete. If I click that send back button, it's actually going to take the work back to the student to finish it later. And when the student logs in, it's going to come up with, on the activity, it's going to come up with drafts, and they can go back and click on it to edit it. So now it's saying it's got a draft. So the person, student A, has completed their work, but is still working on it. They can go back and do it then. Cool, thank you for your question. How can I go back tonight, tomorrow, and rewatch the session? It will be on my YouTube channel later today once my internet sorts itself out and I can upload it. And then you'll be able to watch it there anytime. You also have a link to the slide deck too. Any major differences between the free version and the paid version? Free version, you can do everything that you need to on the free version. Main differences being private folders. So if you've got the paid version, you've got access to private folders. So that's where you can link work into something that the kids can't see. You've got private comments. So you could write a comment on students' work. Say, for example, if it was linked to reports or conferences, you could write a comment and only you could see them. You have access to features for longer. So at the moment, that send back feature is free for a limited time. Then after that, it's going to go back to only being on the paid version or for Seesaw for Schools. Seesaw paid, you have got access to more collections, access to more classrooms. You can add more teachers into a classroom, things like that. And you also have access to Seesaw Skills, which is like learning progressions online on Seesaw that you assign to the work. Yeah, main differences off the top of my head. Is there a difference between Seesaw for Schools and the paid version? Yes. Seesaw for Schools is a great way of having the learning journals roll over each year. So, for example, my kids that are in my class now, at the end of the year, if we had Seesaw for Schools, their journal would just get pushed out to the next year's teacher and all of their work would stay there. So at the end of this year, I'm going to have to close my class down and then their work would get sent home to the parents, but it's not a rolling over journal. Seesaw for Schools also has more options for classroom, activities, collections, teachers in the classroom. You can have up to 10 teachers in a classroom, I'm pretty sure, on Seesaw for Schools. Things like that. Yeah. So there are some big differences. It is, I want to say $7 US per student, and you need to have a minimum of 150 students in a school to sign up. You can split schools though. So my school, we've only got 42 kids. I could split my Seesaw for School subscription with another school. Can the parents download the material photos at the end of the year or at any point? Yep, so they have access to download the work as they go. Underneath, it's probably not going to show you because I'm in a teacher mode, but in a parent mode, let me just see if I can show you. I'm not sure if I will be able to. They would have on the 3 dots, it would say something like share. share item, and they can save it and download it. And then at the end of the year, when you archive the class, then it spits out a zip folder to the parent and an email address with every single piece of evidence they've collected over the year. Yeah, so it's really cool. At the end of the year, they get a copy of everything, like a portfolio, but an online version. Can senior leaders get access to checking the activities? What do you mean by that? Like, do you mean like logging on and like seeing what they're doing? If you have them as a co-teacher, yep, they can access everything, but you can't just have like a parent, like a senior leader as a parent to access it. Yeah, so they can only check it if they're on as a co-teacher. Yeah. And so say, for example, if you're a principal, you would only, like, I could only have me and say my principal, and then if I had a learning assistant, I couldn't have them as well, because you can only have 2 teachers in a class. So if you've got Seesaw for schools, then the principal could see, or senior leaders can see everything in everyone's classes, because they've got an administrator access. Yeah. Even with the free, Karen, yes, you get, yeah, parents get copies of all the work on all types, free, paid, or Seesaw for schools. At the end of the year, when you click archive the class, it spits it out for all the parents on all the different types of signups, free, paid, or Seesaw for schools. Yeah, cool. That was the end of the questions. If I am a co-teacher on our classes, if I view a notification, does that remove the notification for the other teacher? They will get notified that, say for example, a kid adds work, you check the notification, you approve the work, the other teacher will still get the notification that the work is there, but it won't tell them that it's been approved. So you both have the same access, you both have the same rights within the classroom. If you're a co-teacher, it notifies them and says student A added work, but it wouldn't tell them that you've approved it. They would still have to go in and clear their notification. Yeah. But being a co-teacher is really cool, because if you've got a big class, a big group of kids, you can approve work for each other, so that it's not just like you doing all the work all the time. You can take the load and share the load. Yeah. Cool. Are there any other questions? I hope that has been helpful, especially the activity part. Those free gifts that I have shared with you will constantly be there. They're not going to disappear after this. They will always be available. You will have access to that for the length that they're around, I guess. I'm not going to delete them. And like I said, this session will be uploaded on to YouTube later, not right now. I hope you found this helpful. If you have any questions, no question is a silly question, send me a message on Facebook, Instagram, email, whatever floats your boat, and I can help you with that. I'm basically living online this whole week at the moment, so even if you want another one-to-one session, can you help me do this? I really need to get on, I can help you with that. Cool. Thank you so much for attending and coming along. Yeah, I'm running another one tomorrow. It's my last session tomorrow on Seesaw folders and Seesaw blogs. I'm only running one session of that, and there will not be a repeat. So if you think Seesaw folders and blogs is something that you'd like to listen into, come along to that. It is at 12 o'clock tomorrow, and it will be on the same Zoom ID with the same password as today. Cool. Thank you guys. Have a fabulous day, and I will see you all another time, maybe online, maybe not. Yeah, have a great time in your lockdown. Cool. Thank you so much.